Alright, well, greetings and welcome to Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020 Twin Globes Pitch In Season 1 Episode 1, Between Us Something Smells. And this cheeky yet symbolic kickoff to Twin Globes Pitch In. Me, my first officer, in-flight engineer, pilot, a Boeing 727 from Albuquerque to Grand Junction carrying a precious and poignant cargo, live canvasback ducks and wetland embryos, destined for restoration efforts in the Colorado Plateau. What begins with a classic joke, between us something smells, unfolds into a layered journey of ecological memory, intergenerational healing, and airborne advocacy. As we fly from Duke City, we reflect on legacies of TWA's community roles and roots in the wetlands once thriving beneath our flight path. Mid-cruise, the cabin becomes a sanctuary of storytelling and ritual. A sealed jar labeled Wetland Air 1972 is ceremonially opened. Letters from viewers describe the sense of childhood nature. The Canvasbacks, nestled in safe and yet custom habitat crate, ruffle their feathers as if remembering. This episode blends retro charm with modern ecological urgency, using the Twin Globes livery as a beacon of connection between past, present, future, humor and healing, and the airborne rituals that remind us to care with archival music, character-driven dialogue, and immersive visuals. Between Us Something Smells invites the audience to sniff out what's been lost and pitch in to restore it. Alright, today's cargo isn't just symbolic, it's alive. We got canvasbacks in the aft and embryos in the climate crate. It's not just a flight, it's a delivery of hope. And for those seated in row 10, move at once. Alright, so welcome aboard TWA Flight 54 as part of Operation Canvasback. Today we carry life, canvasback, and embryos bound for restoration. Please fasten your seatbelts, we're pitching in. So right now, of course, while we're at it, I'm just going to do a quick check here. Since I crashed earlier, a real accident, and of course at Labrador 54 Gaming Productions, we try again. And today I found a day where I was able to do it. Now the reason why I fly VFR a lot, flying these planes, is because, you know, IFR, they're going to keep telling me to, they're referring to air traffic control, they're going to keep telling me to expedite. And even though I'm supposed to expedite, I don't feel like dealing with all that today. Today I just feel like flying the 727 on what it's supposed to do as far as oddities go. And at Labrador 54 Gaming Productions, we're going to hit that hard. And for those seated in row 18F and 20F, just put the hatches right here. Now, since I have a life too, I'm gonna make this really quick. I'm gonna make this reflect check really quick. You tell me if you watch my videos for a while, especially if you fly in the 727. Why do we have a Cooper vane and why must it be secured? If we have an engine failure before V1, do we land straight ahead and yield to oncoming traffic? And if we, of course, have an engine failure after V1 and you're still in Albuquerque, do you come back to Albuquerque or go to Double Eagle or even Coronado? Or if you're over the town of Bernalillo, you either push on to Santa Fe or go to Coronado? You let me know. Because the accident today really took a lot of my time. And as of right now, since I don't publish accidents all that much, let's get the show on the road. Ladies and gentlemen, this is your acting Captain Labrador 54 here. Ladies and gentlemen, this is your acting Captain Labrador 54 here. Please prepare for a temporary outage of the airplane. And while this is happening, please locate the nearest exit to you. Now, even though I'm not going to be an authentic 727 pilot because Flight Sim Studios gave me this iPhone here, I'm going to use it anyway. Because if I didn't use it, I bet you somebody's gonna be butthurt.
Pre-flight checklist started. Before start check started. Altimeter is set to sound at 0 and 8 check. Nav beacon in flight set. Emergency exit lights armed.
While that's taking place, the only real thing I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna activate the toilets, as you can see here. True or false? Do we grab, pull, and push? And looking out the window here, do we do this first before all else? Alright. I'm just gonna look for the signs to turn on. Again, true or false? Everything's set up differently. Do we grab, pull? But before you do that, do we look first? Alright. And of course, do we grab, pull, and push? Let me go to row 4. For the matter. Just the safety card here caught my eye. Just perfect alignment, I will say. Oh yeah. Oh, for those seated here. Those seated here, you ready to go? Ready to go? This is gonna be a tight fit to get out. Think you'll be alright? And for rows 10, A through F, definitely get out. Like, do not occupy row 10. You're at Labrador 5 for Game Productions, you do not occupy row 10. Okay. Row 18, how's everybody doing here? You know, I'm not really an authentic 727 pilot because I'm using the iPhone Flight Sim Studios gave me. Yeah, I crashed earlier. Remember correctly, I crashed earlier. Trying to land at Grand Junction. So right now I'm gonna try it again. Sorry for taking shortcuts, y'all. I'm really ready for this. Let me do this. Ladies and gentlemen, this is your acting Captain Labrador 5-4 here. At this point, we're going to begin the pushback process, and when we get to cruising altitude or nearly so, please use the aircraft at your own risk. Because in Operation Canvasback, you're really supposed to be looking out the windows, make sure everything's okay. And today, you're only really getting snack wraps for this flight, as far as chow goes. At this point, everyone please prepare for takeoff at this time, and make sure your belts are securely fastened, seatbacks are upright, feet on the floor, head up. and forward. And as of right now, of course, whatever you do, you keep your head up, eyes forward, focus on the present. Prepare for a temporary outage because of that iPhone Flight Simulation Studios was kind enough to give me. All cabin crew, prepare for a temporary outage. It happens shortly thereafter pushback. First Officer Genie is here in
Albuquerque ground TWA 54 heavy request taxi for takeoff departing straight out.
TWA 54 heavy taxi, hold short holding runway taxiway Alpha 1. Contact tower 123.757 when ready.
Go and acknowledge what they said.
Taxi to and short runway 8 via taxiway Alpha 1 TWA 54 heavy.
Go acknowledge everything they said. It's there. No, it's there.
Albuquerque ground TWA 54 heavy requesting pushback.
TWA 54 heavy pushback request accepted.
About this. Okay, let's do this.
After start checks. Taxi checks. Taxi lights. Before takeoff, check left 15. Auto brakes set to RTO. Ignition set to decimal.
Alright, even though I don't have all the equipment in the cockpit right now or can't get to the speaker. Ladies and gentlemen, please prepare for a temporary blackout. It will be dark. The airplane will be dark just for a short time. Yep, that's what we are. That's why I felt like flying today. Okay, we're done. From what it looks like with the temporary outage still right now. Okay, there's just one cycle. I did that on purpose today, just to want to tell you that there really should only be one cycle. There should be enough flaps today, so we'll fly like this. I wonder why I crashed earlier. Ladies and gentlemen, I really hope there's eyes on the duck crate right now, and especially because I'm in taxi phase, I don't think I'm gonna touch the PA all that much, especially not in dangerous phases. Right now, as we taxi past the old hangars, I think of the embryos, tiny beginnings tucked in climate foam. The runway's about to become a lifeline. Right now, I'm beginning the process there of taxiing to runway 08. Alright, listen up. Once we pass Telluride, we're going to begin the descent process thereof getting into Grand Junction. Actually, we'll start it in Montrose because I might have started the descent too late. Okay. No wonder why I crashed earlier. Okay, let's do this. Let's visually, of course, confirm it from here. As for a takeoff, we could really see it from here.
Albuquerque Tower, TWA 5, runway 8 ready for departing straight out.
TWA 5, runway 083 and 15. Straight out departure approved. Cleared for takeoff, runway 8.
Cleared for takeoff, runway 8, TWA 54 heavy.
And I agree. Let's go. Next stop is Glenwood Hills via Volterra and Fort Hills. Now, bearing in mind there's going to be a lot of alarms in the cockpit because that's how I'm sure of it. Labrador 54, where flaps full. kinds of alarms going on. Remember, your type is a 727. Aircraft type is 727 here. The reason why I say this is because we're flying VFR. Doing all the strange things that we're supposed to be doing with the plane. Whatever this plane's supposed to be doing. Doing it. Volterra, 4 hills. Once we're out of Volterra, we can turn to the left.
TWA 54 heavy reaching the airspace frequency. Approved.
Okay. Go ahead.
Albuquerque Tower, TWA 54 heading frequency. Albuquerque approaching TWA 54 heavy. 5 miles. Albuquerque 7,800. Request clearance. Transition Charlie airspace.
TWA 54 heavy Albuquerque approach. Squawk 0164.
Squawk 0164 TWA 54 heavy.
TWA 54 heavy radar contact 6 miles Albuquerque 7,600 feet. Cleared through the Charlie airspace. Maintain own navigation.
Cleared through the Charlie airspace. TWA 54 heavy.
And let's not fly into the hill though. Alright. There it is, Labrador 54. You're actually trying to live out a dream for the day. Well, you know, airlines die on a regular basis is why I fly these flights. And some of you even know that, right? Speaking of which, the whole time I daydreamed about this, that's why Jackson Elementary School, Eisenhower Middle School, and El Dorado High School where all the daydreaming took place. Even Glenwood Hills here. Right down below me is so-called Glenwood Hills. It really truly is. Right down below. There's high desert. Not a whole lot of people get to live in Glenwood Hills. For the time being, I've been living here referring to Glenwood Hills since 1995. Residents here last 30 years or a little over. Vast majority of residents here in Glenwood Hills, they live here for 30 years. Except from before. Maybe more.
Landing lights on. Landing gear off.
of you judge. No one understand that these planes are meant. Yeah, these airplanes are meant, you know, to do some of the strangest jobs. There's Gentleman right below us. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, right below us. Alright. There we are. Still a dangerous space for me to touch the intercom, so... Ladies and gentlemen, we are airborne. Below us, the Rio Grande River and the general areas of that river whisper. Above us, in the overhead bins, or above us, outside our spirits. Spirits of Canvasbacks.
126.3 TWA 54 heavy. Goodbye. Albuquerque approach TWA 54 heavy 9,100 feet.
I'll be flying in there for a little bit. I can do this from... What are you doing? Why are you giving me an overspeed warning just now? Come on. No. Son of a stupid. Okay, well, alright, ladies and gentlemen, this is your acting Captain Labrador 5-4 here. Below us lay the Rio Grande River and surrounding areas, and above us are spirits of Canvasbacks and embryos to ride the wind towards restoration. Between us, something smells, and it smells like renewal. Ladies and gentlemen, when we have 1,000 to go, or shortly there before, I will turn off the seatbelt sign and, of course, use the aircraft at your own risk while you're at it. Like an estimate of 11,000 to go for this. Feet above ground level. I'll be monitoring the instruments. Where are we? Now before we get on Denver Center, Actually, I'll just go and call it now. Ladies and gentlemen, this is your acting captain, Labrador 5-4 here. You're correct. This is acting Captain Labrador 5-4 here. We're about to reach cruising altitude, and of course, I'm going to turn the seatbelt sign off and use the aircraft at your own risk. Cabin, whatever you want to say, please, of course, distribute the chow as you seem fit. And as of right here, right now, of course, you're to be looking out the windows to see where we need to carry out Operation Canvasback and how to carry out Operation Canvasback as seen fit. When we get around Telluride, remind me to begin the descent process and we will do it. At this point, all cabin staff, please distribute the chow. Thank you. That's probably going to turn. I'm going to turn them off for sure. How's it go? You should have told me that earlier. While we're at it, as I gaze out the window here, alright, put it in my first officer's terms. You ever notice how the land below looks like memory? Patchwork fields, winding rivers, like someone tried to stitch together a story and forgot the ending. And the flight engineer in the back says, that's why we're flying it again, to write the missing chapters with Canvasbacks, with embryos and with care. Alright, and as I go here, well, of course, could be the sealed jar of wetland air from 1972, as though it smells like, or maybe it's the smell of responsibility finally catching up to us. Right now we're 200 miles away, and I'm gonna go in the cabin. Alright. I don't know why there's lights on back here. This is a pet peeve for me, so... Descend. What are you talking about? It's a game. Let me go to row number 4 to go tell stories. Because I just can't resist looking at that safety card. I can't resist it, so... Passenger seatbelt sign is off. Simulator, I can do pretty much whatever I want. Denver Center really soon. Air traffic control. Here it is. Make sure everybody's okay back here first. Then I'll come back to first class again. I'm gonna go examine the wing. We're 180 miles away. Alright, this is our plan here. You all should know this too. When we get past Telluride, I'm going to go and begin thereof the process of descent. And during this descent process, you know, you all better be finishing your nature calls and all that. And of course, while we're at it, you better hold on tight, or this is going to be really rough. Especially landing in Grand Junction, it'll be really, really rough. I didn't really necessarily want to go. Okay, I'm almost done back here. Okay, you all follow? We're going to make our way now to the front of the aircraft. We're going to go to row 4 today. Because what's in row 4? A perfectly aligned safety card, as you might have seen earlier. And the seat pocket in front, which is the seat back of row 3. Here we go. Off to tell stories. Off to tell stories in row 4. Alright. Since I'm pensing what I'm going to say just now. Not a real passenger, so I'll just do it like this. segments. Read aloud. My first officer says, "Get ready for this one." Dear 727 crew of this aircraft, I remember the smell of my grandfather's duck blind, cedar wood, marsh water, and pipe tobacco. It was the smell of patience, as though it seemed. To me, my response is, to me, the wetland smelled like freedom. Of course, I'm Redtail, as though it seems in this episode. To me, wetland smelled like freedom. I'd sometimes bike to the edge of the preserve and just breathe, even though I don't know how to ride a bike in real life. I just can't balance it for some reason. I didn't know I was inhaling history. Today we fly those memories forward and we pitch in, not just with wings but with heart. Everyone in the back says, let's check the habitat trait. Canvasbacks are calm, embryos are stable, temperatures are holding. They're riding smooth, like they know this flight matters. It does. Every mile we cross is a promise kept. If you're listening closely, you'll hear a blend of archival TWA lounge music and field recordings from restored wetlands. It's our way of stitching past and future into the present. Between us something smells, and it's the scent of healing, feathered, fragile, and flying. Wetlands are like some that glint like mirrors. They're ready to receive. Let's deliver the crates and release the air. Let's remember. Welcome in advance to Grand Junction. Today we did not just land, we arrived with life. Canvasbacks, embryos, and their stories. Thank you for pitching in. Okay. I'm going back in the cockpit. Point. IFR, y'all will have to wait for a while because, for the time being, I don't feel confident enough to do it. Not a whole lot of people fly the 727 for its intended purposes, really. Oddities. Okay, everybody here? Where are we in this game? Okay. We're about to reach Telluride. Once we pass Telluride Regional Airport, I'll begin the processes there of descent. Right now, even if we're just 110 miles away, say again, even if we're just 110 miles away, I will. Actually, more like 96 or 95 miles away. I'll make the descent announcement.
TWA 54 Heavy contact Denver Center on 125.235. Good day. Good day.
125.35 TWA 54 Heavy. Goodbye. Bye. Denver Center TWA 54 Heavy flight level 300.
TWA 54 Heavy Denver Center radar contact continue.
Clear this mountain range. Actually, let me clear the mountain range first, just to be on the safer side, okay? Actually, once we're in Ouray, on the general area, maybe even Ridgeway for the matter. I'll begin the process of descent thereof. Let me see if I can get some airport information from Grand Junction. Let me pull it up. I'll go for runway 29er. Runway 29er, 0 degrees. How far now? Yeah, you can try and talk to him. Try and talk to Grand Junction. Okay, let's do this now. At this point, one more look. I'm gonna see if I can raise them from here. Yeah, some further instructions on Grand Junction. Oh, yourself. There.
Grand Junction Tower TWA 54 Heavy is 6 miles southeast of White Level Tree 00, Golf to land.
TWA 54 Heavy Tower Junction Tower. Altimeter 290.081085.15. Make straight in runway 29er.
Yes.
Fly straight in runway 29er TWA 5 Heavy.
Okay, at this point, I'm gonna do it before all else happens. Ladies and gentlemen, this is your acting Captain Labrador 54 here. I've decided to begin the process thereof descent into Grand Junction Regional Airport. So I'm going to turn the seatbelt sign back on. And of course, all cabin staff, please put all their chow on standby until we deplane. Thank you. right now. Even though this is really low, let's do it. Here we go. We'll get you down hard. Good hard, alright? Get you down good and get you down hard, alright? Good and hard. How about that? Runway heading for runway 29er. All runway headings are based off compass readings. That's why all this, okay? Degrees, that works. Yeah, that's Buffett's candies telling me something. Okay. Guiding lights. All lights. Should have been done this whole time. I heard a toilet flush. Ladies and gentlemen, Acting Captain Labrador 5-4 here. We are reaching the runway and we'll be there really soon. Verifying the Grand Junction Regional Airport. We'll be there really soon, alright? do this. I'm not the most authentic TWA. Although I'm not the most authentic TWA 727 pilot, because I have the foam, I'm going to say that I feel happy that I got some compensation for my lost dreams. And this was one of them. In fact, I have a lot of them from when I was a child. And with special thanks to Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020, you've superseded it again so far. It referring to, you know, or more like them. Lost dreams, that is. Plus the gears down. Has to taxi to a gate. What's that? Somebody activate the PA for me. Ladies and gentlemen, this is your acting Captain Labrador 5-4 here. Welcome to Grand Junction. Today we did not just land. We arrived with life, Canvasbacks, embryos, and your stories. Thank you all for pitching in. And as for my mind today, and of course, skill building and all that, and of course, you know, thank you God, of course, for allowing me to have compensation for a lost dream today. And Renee Rowland, bracing your face if you're watching this video, I very respectfully thought to let you know that, you know, maybe I did not get my dream because, you know, maybe my life was going to be ruined. Yeah, maybe my life was going to be ruined. And of course, even though I don't live the same life you live, you know, probably mercy there is, of course. And as of right now, of course, taxiing in feels different here. To all watching this video too, it really does. Like the earth's listening for the sound of the wings. Let's not rush, let's allow the wheels to write the final stanzas of this chapter. Oh, there's a gate available. I really don't care what it is. I'll just take it. I'll just accept the gate. We're okay, the 727's engines are not as powerful as that airplane here, so we'll taxi it in. It's really not. The 727's engines, if they're correctly, the Boeing 727's engines are not that powerful, as many would think. Well, they're that powerful for a human. You get what I mean? Even more so, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Grand Junction. Time now from time I record this video is 10 hours. Because that's how I want the time to be from time being I record this video, since I am a morning person. And of course, good thing we got the deadline extended to no later than 10:45 or 30 to 45 range this morning. We are way early, so to speak. Kind of anyway. Right now. Now of course let me set the aircraft to APU. And then to cold and dark. Actually, ladies and gentlemen, prepare for a dark aircraft again. We'll get you out soon, alright?
Securing aircraft checks. Check. Parking brake is on. Transponder off. Engine and window anti-ice off. Beacon off. Emergency exit off.
Hit the door.
Gallium power. Securing checks complete.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Grand Junction again. Let me get every door open here and we're off. Do any of you want to use the rear air stair? It's totally legal. If they can't connect the jetway, we will then, of course, open the rear air stair. We'll then use the rear air stair. Grand Junction? Really? You're at low altitude? maybe higher. Altitude for Grand Junction supposedly is 4,857 feet above sea level. Mean sea level. I don't believe that. Let me ask for services. Point. Or not. Let me get this out. Well, we made it this time for sure. Open everything up. So we're gonna use what we got. Alright, good Lord, one more thing to close out the episode. I know things are not really good right now, okay? Since I crashed earlier and wanted to push on. We'll do it from drone view, how about that? First of all, let me make sure everything got out okay. All got out okay? Okay, I'm checking the starboard now. Okay. Oh, engine 3 is still burning. That's alright, because doomsday planes, they always leave an engine on at all times. Although I'm not really technically supposed to be talking about that out here. Gateway, party. Let's go to the gateway and have a party. Let's go in the airport and have a party. For that matter. As I was saying, well, welcome to Grand Junction. Although I'm not really technically supposed to do this. You're not supposed to do this, right? Oh yeah. Let me go to the starboard. Alright, one more thing. And then close out episode. We'll do it from here. These Canvasbacks will be released tomorrow. The embryos will be nurtured. But today we delivered something else, connection. So many places to draw on the tarmac of the wetland air, smelling as if it came from 1972. They're opening it. Okay, jar's been opened, released, and remembered. Between us, something smells, says one eye to the other eye. Thank you for flying with us. Operation Canvasback will continue for as long as I'm alive. Although this was not my best episode, as usual, I still long to get better in good ways. That is our show. Thanks for watching. If you like, please like and subscribe. We'll see you all around.